What's happening? What jersey is that?
From the Olympia.
Oh, okay.
I had somebody grab it for me last year.
Dope.
Yeah, fucking like $180 or some shit.
Oh my goodness. Oh. There he is.
Yeah. What up, fellas?
Not much, man. Just discussing Mike's $180 jersey.
Is that the Olympia one that I saw him wearing
Yeah.
last week? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little bit of manifestation.
Pride. Wear it with pride.
That's right.
You were on that ship.
How's your guys' weekends been?
Good.
It was pretty good.
Just got back from Dave and Buster's with the family.
Oh, nice.
Turned my shit the wrong way. And we got a little cookout tomorrow at the O'Donnell's, so should be a good weekend.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I forget everybody pretty much has work off tomorrow.
Yeah.
But for me, supplement shop has to be open on a Monday, I guess.
It's open tomorrow?
Yeah, we're open tomorrow. We're open on my shift, but the second shift gets cut in half. So Chuck only has to work a half shift tomorrow.
I'm pulling a Luke.
Oh, nice.
You guys are insane. That's like 300 milligrams of caffeine at 8 p.m., bro. How the fuck?
I'll be drooling by 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens, but I do.
Yeah, get that looked at.
Yeah, for sure. What'd you guys think of Cali while we wait for?
It was what it was going to be, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is the first show in a while where I nailed the top 6. But it really surprised me that no one who was first call at a pit went to Cal. Like, that was an easy call.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and
I don't get it.
Sauce was there, so yes, that would have been a challenge. But like, there were guys in the first call out at pit that are a challenge for Sauce. Like, it would have been a good battle, but nobody went.
Yeah.
Who wasn't qualified in pit that could have went to Cali and qualified?
That's a good question.
Let's see.
Sass was already qualified, correct? From the end of last year?
Yeah, this is his second win.
He was. Brandon's already qualified. Chris already qualified. Tony was already qualified.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't think anyone else really could have went. I mean, they could have went for the payday, but that's it.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen Blessing in this lineup.
Yeah.
He could have challenged.
He's doing Toronto instead.
Does anyone know who's doing Toronto besides him?
I know Quint is.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh man, Quint's one of those guys that kind of frustrates me because, man, you have all the tools, and all you got to do is get a little bit leaner and a little bit harder, and it should be automatic for you every year because his shape is fucking phenomenal, and he's round and bubbly, and he presents himself well.
Yep. I know he's been scared off of coaches, but boy, do I think personally that is exactly what he needs.
I'm surprised Crizzo did as well as he did with George Fair.
Well, is he still with George right now?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
He was in Pittsburgh. There's a video up on YouTube of George staying in his room in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Yeah, he worked with George for Pitt.
Good on them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with the result, right? Because he looked nuts. But my opinion of the situation is, if you throw enough shit at the wall, eventually it'll stick.
Yeah,
and especially when you talk about someone as like genetically elite as Crizzo, right? Like,
it takes a lot to fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, you're already in shape from the last show. You know, when you already look good at one show, if you push just a little bit harder, the next show should be better. And with all the fucking tissue he has, man, I imagine you could feed that motherfucker till there's no tomorrow, and he just soaks it all up. So,
easily 1,000 grams of carbs.
Oh yeah, light work for him.
Can't argue with the result. So,
yep. Is Legion this coming weekend, or are we 2 weeks away? This coming weekend?
I think it's this weekend. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which I haven't seen anybody doing that, which makes sense to me because it's Tonio's show.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think guys get scared off of shows because they know certain guys will be there?
I mean, if you're a fringe guy, like, why would you go show up to a show you're going to lose to, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm an open guy, I'm not going anywhere Tonio is. I'm not going anywhere Carrizo is. I'm not going anywhere the top 5 guys are if I can avoid it. But there's a line between the top guys and the people that just want to compete. Right.
Yeah.
Now somebody's saying that Nick might be doing Texas from an inside source. I don't believe it.
Everything I heard from Nick is he's done and he's happy right now. So
yeah.
Yeah. Just people talking shit.
Welcome, the man of the hour. I'm not really good at like those big bubbly interviews. I mean introductions. And I think at this point, anybody who watches this knows who you are. So I'm just gonna say, welcome to the show, Justin.
Yeah, you're sleeping under a rock.
I even like put my company name as my display name. Brand recognition. Funny enough, a lot of people don't know who I am to an extent. They know the name, and that's what I wanted. Like, I wanted it to be brand recognized. I wanted people to recognize my logo and the name, kind of like Camp Jansen kind of had their thing, right? Now Matt's got a big name, so like everybody knows him. But I don't really post myself all that much. I mean, I do because I'm in prep, but like once I go back into an off season, like you'll not see me on my Instagram unless it's a picture with an athlete. So I miss the days when people like I could walk through a show and nobody knows who I am.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's changed heavily these days.
Yeah, because Mike wins now and Tonio's been winning. So Allison's been winning, and it's like all my athletes are making it more difficult for me to go through the crowd in the show. I'm kidding, totally kidding.
Fly under the radar.
Yeah, there's no more flying under the radar anymore.
Listen. The fucking nosebleeds can hear you at a show. Everybody knows you're there, whether they know who you are or not. So shut the fuck up. You're in every video of every show.
Dude, me and Mike were standing in the back. Me and Mike were standing in the back at New York, and all we could hear was Justin standing up and fucking clapping, turning around. He's like, "Let's go!"
I know. I did. I did do that. I did that both Friday and Saturday.
Yeah,
it was weird. This year at New York was a very different vibe, and I don't know if you've been to New York Pro in the past, but I've been several times. And with it being a one-day show usually, and it's just a pro show, whereas now it's a 2-day show, it feels like a lot of the other 2-day shows, which, for Mike's sake, not as crazy of a vibe, right? Because when it was a 1-day show, that venue would have been so packed from morning to night. It would have been standing room only after a while. Like they would have just sandwiched us in there, and it's loud and crazy and like super energetic. The New York crowd comes out, obviously there's a, heavy Hispanic, community there too. So it's like, they all come out. It's just loud and just like a very like rambunctious crowd, which I love. And it just was a little toned down on both days because it was split. Yeah. And then with it only being open in bikini, right? On Saturday, open in bikini, and then the NPC, it was just different.
Yeah.
And me and Mike said the same thing. We're like, wow, the energy's like really low.
It was down. And there were a lot of seats open too. And I'm like even if you showed up late, you could still get a decent seat in VIP. That never was the case. Yeah. I used to go and it'd be an hour before the show starts and the line is already wrapped down that hallway, back around the other end of the hallway, and then down the side of the, that long hallway where you walk past the curtains. And I'm like, holy smokes, like we're going to be sitting right in the front row. So, which we were, but I was, doing stuff with Mike. And then when I sat down for prejudging with them, I'm like right behind the camera. So I'm like, God damn it. So they got to figure something out with that too, by the way. Like, I understand they're doing their jobs, but like, you don't have that at Texas Pro.
No.
I sit right in the middle and I never have any issues with cameras in front of my face. And it's obviously because they have the tower in the back and whatnot. You know what I mean? They set it all up and it's a bigger venue, but like there's gotta be a better way.
There has to be, because it's definitely in the way for anybody trying to sit somewhere close to the middle and get a good view of the stage. It blocks a lot of it for sure.
It's like you can see half the stage whether you sit on the left or you sit on the right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so I'm like kind of blind after prejudging of like, I'm like looking at photos to try and be like, well, what did you look like? I'm like, I can't see. You know what I mean? And I was like laying all over these people next to me on both sides. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry, but like, bear with me for 20 minutes.
And then you're getting, even as a coach, you're getting shit for like recording your athletes now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't give a shit about that anymore. I used to put up a bigger fuss over it, but now there's just like, I mean, we walked off stage and I didn't care too much because like by the time he comes out from backstage,
it's already on IG.
I have 100 Instagram DMs.
Yeah.
And it's like, and him too, and tags and like, and cell phone quality pics, which I prefer because that's where you really see the graininess. Like you really pick up all the detail with that, as opposed to like the super high def 4K, ultra 8K, whatever. It's like it smooths everyone out. So I always like to do my little phone tricks and whatnot, and it just shows how crazy you actually look. It's the closest thing to the naked eye, in my opinion, when you're like messing around with your phone settings.
Yeah,
I agree. Well, before we get into kind of you and Mike and what's going on this year, let's just get a little background of your personal competing and then a little bit of how you got into the realm of coaching.
Oh, my personal competing is boring. I mean, I haven't really done a whole lot since getting my pro card, but I started in 2015. That was when I did my first show. I walked off the football field, and then 6 months later, I was on stage in a bodybuilding show. So like I played college ball. I did 2 years there, and I just didn't love it anymore. And I wasn't on scholarship or anything, so I could walk away. I wasn't like obligated. So I actually transferred schools and commuted from home. Parents supported me with the bodybuilding thing because they paid for the groceries, and quite frankly, it actually encouraged them to eat a little bit better too. And I did my first show. Now, granted, it was a nightmare. Oh my God, like I was a terror, and it was just the worst prep ever. But I finished it. I got through it, and when I came off stage, I was like, okay, I love this. I'm hooked 100%.
When you first started, did you self-coach?
No, I had some local guy helping me. I had no idea what I was doing. So like the idea of coaching myself was never even a thought. Again, I was just totally winging it. You know what I mean? With like, even with the training side, especially because I had only ever trained for sports. So it was strength-based training. The hypertrophy I had, seen since I started lifting weights at like 14, 15. And I was 21 when I did my first show. That was all just from being really strong. Like we weren't lifting, sets of 10 to 12 for, trying to grow muscle. It was just like, let's get really, really strong and explosive. So I, did a show in 2015, fucked up my reverse diet terribly, got super fat. And then that basically pushed me into the prep for the next show because I was basically just so fat that my off season was over. And then did another show. So I won my class in the open in my very first contest at like 160 pounds. I won the middle weights. Then the next year I was on stage. I made a big jump. Like I went from like 161 on stage at my first show to then like 173 on stage at my second show. So it was a pretty big difference. And I was more conditioned at the second show. And that was when I started working with Tuttle. So Chris and I linked up about halfway through that prep because the previous guy I was working with just kind of stopped answering me. So I just reached out to Tuttle and he helped me and we had a great relationship. I did North Americans that year. And for whatever reason, we thought it was a good idea to pull from 173 to 154 to make lightweights. I don't know why we did that, but my physique kind of ran away with me. That was like when I was young. And so my metabolism was crazy. And he was feeding me, telling me no cardio. And like, I didn't do any cardio for the last 6 weeks of that prep. It just ran. And there was no catching it at that point. Now granted, we pulled weight to make lightweights. I think I pulled I did the sauna, the car trick, the car sauna. So we had a 6-hour drive from where my parents lived to Pittsburgh, and I dropped 9 pounds in 6 hours. So I did the knit hat,
crank the fucking
heated seat. It's the dead of August. So it's hot. And my buddy who's driving is also competing, but he does men's physique, so he didn't need to make weight. And he gets to a point where he's like, bro, I need a break. And I'm like, it's all right. I'll just put the window down. Like, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, we're good. I'm drenched. So we stopped a couple of times and we stopped at a Burger King. I take all my clothes off, soaking wet, bring my scale, bring it in the bathroom, set it down, weigh myself, text, Chris my weight and blah, 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 blah. So I got second there. So that was my third show. I got second in the lightweights at North Americans. 2017, I did another show. I did Eastern USAs. I was a Northeast guy. You guys know I'm from the Northeast, so I was doing all the shows up there. Did Eastern USAs, got waxed. I got third in my class. Carlos Thomas was a middleweight at that time, so he beat me. And then Christian Palmer, who's actually one of Tuttle's guys, he won the overall at North Americans this past year. He got second, and then I got third. So then fast forward, I take 2018 off. 2019, I'm still with Tuttle. I do the Georgia State Championships as a light heavyweight at 182 pounds. And I won the overall there, and then made middles for USA's 2019, got third. Mike and I actually did USA's together that year, but we didn't know each other. And that was the year Tonio did USA's as well, and that was the year Tonio got his pro card. And then COVID happened, so we were prepping for a show, didn't get to compete with everything going on. And then 2021, I light heavyweight again at the regional level, didn't win the overall, won the class, and then middleweights again at nationals, and then got the win. Yeah,
I remembered that 2021 nationals was the first time I saw you in person and realized who you were. Yeah. I was it was a
crazy conditioned look. I mean, I suffered hard to make weight. I really wasn't a middleweight, but we pulled 6 pounds in the last 2 weeks to make weight because I was ready to go at 182, and then we had to make it. And then I did my pro debut in 2023. I got 5th at Texas Pro, and injuries and the business and everything, and thinking I was going to be done, but not sure. Didn't really know what I was going to do. And then I was like, I got to get up there. I got to try one more time. And I left Camp Jansen in February. So, I'm off on my own now. I've been doing my own thing now since February. And I just kind of felt like with the exit, I wanted to do this on my own. I had obviously started prep already. I was, prepping myself from January 1st. And Matt he would have helped me if I asked him for it, but I just didn't ask. You know what I mean? I just was like, I'm just going to do this on my own. I feel like I've got a good beat on my physique. I also feel like I've been coaching myself in my off seasons now, basically since 2019. So it's like, I might as well just give myself a crack at it. I think I've done pretty all right so far.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We'll see.
The Camp Jansen, as far as coaching goes, what was the decision to join up with that and kind of mentor under Matt?
Well, Matt and I were training partners in end of 2018 to 2020 when he moved to Florida. So I was living in Georgia, and we went to the same gym just by happenstance. And I just was, he saw me there, and I had met him before. So we spoke in the gym, and one day I saw a DM, and he was like, "Hey man, if you want to train with me, this is my schedule. This is my split. Let me know which sessions that you can join in. I'd love to have something consistent, a steady training partner." Because he had just moved back to Georgia from Tennessee. And of course I'm going to say yes. Like I'll move my whole work schedule around. So I changed my work schedule at the dealership a little bit to accommodate, and we started just going after it. When he moved, that was kind of a big thing for me because, I had, he was like one of my only friends in Georgia. I was kind of there alone. I met a girl and got engaged and so I had my fiance, but at the time I didn't really have like guy friends, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like the bros. So he asked me in November of 2020, he's like, I think it's time to bring you on the team as a coach. He's like, I know that you've expressed the interest. I know you can pick this up. I know you already know a lot. You're a smart guy. Like, let's do it. And he just, that was, we onboarded. And so in November of 2020, it was when I started coaching with Camp Jansen, and it was all the way until, this February, so I spent 5 years with the team.
Yeah. That's
But it was just like a no-brainer, and the opportunity came to me. It was like, of course, like I definitely want to use, that platform to try and help grow, even if it was just going to be a side business. Like I really enjoyed the coaching that I did, because prior to COVID, I had about like 25 people. And then I lost like damn near everybody during COVID, like probably most people did. So when I joined Camp Jansen, I had 7 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
What's your
later,
at now?
a year later, it was 50 something. So in 1 year with Camp Jansen, I went from 7 to like just over 50.
What are you at now?
I won't disclose. It's triple digits. It's over 100. People get freaked out about the number, and they're like, "Oh, he's got too many people." Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I work 60-hour weeks, so even now, so it's like.
And if you manage it over the course of the week, it's not too overwhelming.
Yeah,
brother, I came from corporate, so like I used to handle 200, 300 emails in my inbox daily.
I heard you say earlier you were at the dealership, right?
Yeah, so I sold cars for a while.
Okay.
And then I got into a supplement broker position where I was I was a brand. I worked on the manufacturer side. So I was a sales rep for NutriCap. They were a big manufacturer in Georgia. And that was like where Raw and Revive like started their manufacturing. And I obviously had a ton of knowledge on supplements. So I formulated supplements for different brands. Basically, it was sell them and then farm. So it's like you get these like small companies, because we did like small orders. You could do a minimum order of as low as 144 units. That's a small order for a manufacturer, very small. So whereas because like high tech, right? So like where Chris works, their minimum orders are like 5,000. So like, which I worked. Eventually, I left the supplement, manufacturer position and ended up working for Raw, basically doing the same role but on the brand side. And I communicated with high tech all the time. I called them daily. And that was just, that was my role. So again, like 200, 300 emails was nothing, I probably sent over 100 emails, and I had 200 or 300 that were in my inbox that I had to look at, clear or whatever. So it was, it was a lot. I mean, I have I have an MBA, like I have a I've got like 2 degrees. So it's like, I'm not like just a dumb meathead, you know what I mean? I have a brain.
You got to be careful. Luke says body.
Luke, yeah, I was just going to say that. I'm like, Luke's here. According to him, we're all fucking dumb. So
we are, bro. Fuck, we all meatheads, bro. We're all meatheads.
I can bro out with my meathead friends, but then I can also like have like intellectual conversations with like Justin O'Donnell, where he's like educating me on like Alexander the Great and all like the Byzantine Empire and Constantinople and the rise and fall of the Roman Empire.
That's bad.
So when did Mike, you can chime in here as well. When did you guys become coach client? When did that relationship start?
Do you remember?
So
I remember.
We actually formally met for the first time backstage at 2021 Nationals.
Yeah.
Because he was middleweight, so he was a class in front of me, and he also had Shire in heavyweights, or I guess Matt had Shire, but you were close to Matt, so you were keeping an eye on Shire behind me. You were up in front of me, so we got to chatting, and we got in this little like passive aggressive pissing match over who was the most conditioned. Because if you're looking at the show, right, like objectively at the show, it was one of us, but we couldn't come to a conclusion. And then so
this is at finals, like
yeah.
I didn't know there's a controversy between the two of you.
Fucking comparing glutes.
Yeah, I look so and I flex my glutes, and it's like it was really gay, but it was that was a great memories. And then when you go back and you watch the pose down of nationals, Mike and I are just next to each other the whole time, dicking around. Just talking, not paying attention to anybody else besides just messing around.
I mean, listen, we all knew who was winning the fucking overall.
Oh yeah,
so it's like
I was
like, stay away from Carlos. I was happy to be up
there.
So we both went pro, obviously, and then we went home, went about our separate ways, kept in touch here and there, like you do when you meet somebody backstage.
Had a couple training sessions in when Mike came in.
Oh yeah, to revive, yeah. Because immediately after Nats, I had some travel for both business and for family, so I was down there like twice in 3 weeks. So we linked up both of those times, got a training session in, got a YouTube shoot in, trained with Nick Loff, did the whole bodybuilding thing, and then went our separate ways. And I mean, obviously that was 2021, so like right before shit hit right after shit hit the fan with COVID, and was coming back down, so things were still kind of weird. And I don't know if we've talked about this at all on the podcast, but like, and Luke, you can Luke and Mike and Justin, if you have a comment on it, feel free. But like that period post getting your pro card for me was like, I was lost. Like I was borderline depressed. I was like, well, fuck, like what do I do now? Like, I've been chasing this for a decade and I have it. Mm-hmm. Now what? And I kind of fell off for a bit. And then I don't even remember how it actually happened, like how we actually linked up. But I was always handling my own off seasons, and I knew I was just fucking up. So then, I mean, if you remember specifically, feel free.
I was in Orlando, Florida. It was 4th of July weekend. I had just finished up the Orlando Europa with Justin O'Donnell, our first show together. So him and I are on cardio, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, I'm going to message Mike Condell and see what the fuck he's doing. And so I cold DM Mike, which it wasn't super cold because we were buddies, but like, I was like, because I was in prep for my pro debut, and I was a middleweight. And I'm like, this dude's way bigger than me, way better, should be like already had been on stage like last year, and wasn't even prepping, like wasn't even sniffing a show yet at this point. And I'm like, what are you doing? And so I basically just like offered services, offered to help. And, I knew he worked with Tuna at the time for his pro card. And I was just like, hey, no disrespect to Tuna or whatnot, but like, I would be happy to help you. And I felt like, at that point I had done enough to warrant that. And then it was a little while after that when we started. But we did like a shitty attempt at an off season before
late 22, right?
No, 23. So it would have been
late
fall of 23.
Right.
We started lots of stuff going on, personal stuff. And so the off season that we had, like leading into his pro debut prep was like obviously not the greatest in hindsight. But then that prep was just crazy. It was a great prep. I still think probably his best.
Do you credit getting back on track to that a lot? Like, do you think if you guys hadn't teamed up, do you think like you would have struggled to get back on track or no?
That's a great question. Obviously, it's a huge help.
Because I know, not to cut you off, I know Justin O'Donnell, Justin has credited you for that same thing. Like he was done at one point. And you kind of brought him back.
Yeah, after 21 Nationals, it was January of 2022 when I started coaching him and Ruth.
Yeah. And,
I saw him backstage saw him at tanning at Nationals, got chatting. Justin and I had known each other for years at that point. Yeah. And, that was like a really not great showing for him. And
that was that heavyweight class. There were a lot of guys that placed really weird in that heavyweight class.
Yeah. And it was, and it just like, it didn't go great for, it was a hard prep and everything. Like it just wasn't his best. And he was really defeated, and we had breakfast. Yeah. Actually, it's funny. I actually had breakfast with Justin O'Donnell the next day. after we got the card. And then yeah, I mean, he just because he was totally going to be done.
Yeah, that's what he told me. So
yeah,
I just wondered if it was the same thing for you, Mike, or not.
No, I wasn't done. The way, like, if you ever heard me talk about, when everyone talks about like periodization and deloads and all that shit, I don't take them because usually my life handles that for me.
Yeah.
And just with everything I got going on, and that period of my life was one of those times that it was way, way longer than it should have been. I mean, there was plenty going on in my life to justify not giving my attention to bodybuilding. I probably would have gotten back on track at some point, but it was certainly a catalyst for that happening much faster and much quicker than it would have happened on its own. And like Justin said, it wasn't a shit off season, but it was also the first off season I've run with a coach actively managing my off season, because I've done all my own. Like, I do all my own training. I had done all my own off seasons to that point. So having someone taking the reins puts a little bit more emphasis on nailing it, right? Like there's less room for
time. Makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing was like there was too much flexibility, because it was like the food was the biggest problem. You know what I mean? It was like, Mike's always going to train hard. That's not a problem. I never have to worry about it. But it was like, hey, we need to be eating like we're going to be eating in prep. It's just more. You know what I mean? And like that was the thing that like most, a lot of weeks it was like wasn't perfect. All right, well, how close can we get to perfect? Right. And that was kind of basically and I just kind of, I remember this vividly, because I was like, just give me your best. Just give me your best every week. Just give me your best. It's okay. Like, I know you got stuff going on. And like, I don't obviously want to talk about Mike's personals, but his brother, and then, eventually his mom and whatnot. Yeah. And so it's just, there was a lot of stuff, and probably a million other things in between. And so, the fact that we still had such a great rookie season, like, I mean, again, testament to the prep, you know what I mean? Because, started the prep, maybe less than ideal, but then everything just worked so well that it's like, it just came together.
Yeah.
Now, Mike had, until this win, a lot of close calls for wins. As a coach and as an athlete, that's super hard, right? Just to stay locked in. How hard is it as a coach to just like be that close with an athlete show after show?
I mean, it's so much harder on him than it is on me, because he's the one up there. He's the one doing the physical work. You know what I mean? He's the one grinding. You know what I mean? Because like I know how I feel right now at 3 weeks out, and like I know what he feels like, and I push him hard. So it's like, for me, it was just like, keep going. Come on, we can do this. We will get there. We will get there. Just like, don't give up. You know what I mean? It's like that like bend but don't break, relentless mentality of like, we will get there as long as we just keep going, right? You keep showing up, and eventually it's going to happen. And you're going to get in the right lineup, and you're going to have the right peak. You're going to have the right judging panel, and everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. And then boom, we're going to get the call the day that we deserve it. And everything happens for a reason. So for one reason or another, it didn't work out in the past. And you know what? Being the fact that New York Pro is our first win means a fuck ton more than it being the Chisholm Pro. You know what I mean? No disrespect to Chisholm Pro, but 2 second places there, a third place finish in Chicago, a fourth in Toronto, and it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Winning New York matters more. I'm sorry. Marquee show. Yeah. It's a big deal. We're Northeast guys. That's our show. You know what I mean? That's our show. We don't have any other shows in the Northeast. That is it. Yeah. So you grow up in the Northeast, you grow up doing Bev's shows, Steve's shows, NPC Northeast. You have dreamed of someday going on and competing at the New York Pro and fucking winning. Yep. So, and it all just like happened on Mother's Day and everything. Like it just the stars aligned. So it happened the way that it was supposed to, and nobody can take that away from us ever.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for me, the hardest part of all that was like, and no disrespect to anybody who's competed at the O and 212, but you look at like the back half of the lineup, and I'm like, that motherfucker, I should be there. Like, I know what I look like. I should fucking be there. And like 4 times, like, nope, not going. And mentally, like, I'm always better from if I'm coming from behind. Like my track career, soccer career, everything. I was the underdog. I was the small kid. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is he doing here, guy? I'm always better that way. But like at some point, man, you take enough blows to the fucking gut. It's like, oh, goddamn, another one. Like, I don't know if I can do another one. But yeah, I mean, it being the New York Pro, it being Mother's Day, having you guys and everybody else that showed up because it was a Northeast show.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had tons of support through my career, right? Maybe not as much as some other people, but I've got friends that regularly travel for shows, which is fantastic because that costs money. And there's always a decent amount of people that chose for me. But like I walked out of the backstage from New York and it was like 25 people that I know personally to congratulate me. And that was, I'm not going to say I would keep it the way it is because I would have loved to have won one of the 4 shows before it. But if it had to be this way, then I'm glad it was New York.
Bro, your time comes when your time comes, bro. Yeah. Like everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean?
And like physique wise, I mean, you can't even argue with it, right? Like there, you can look at the pictures of the placings from the 4 shows before, and we can get into semantics and specifics and who likes this and who likes that and where I'm better than him and where he's better than me. But at the end of the day, all of that drove us to go to a different level this offseason. And I think it was like brutally apparent, right? Like, I don't know many people, to humble brag for a minute, I don't know many people that are putting on like 7 to 9 pounds in an off season 10 to 15 years into the career. And especially in a class that has a weight cap, right? So
yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because like it was a good peak, but it definitely wasn't even our best peak. You know what I mean? Like it's because we had to do the weight game. You know what I mean? So I still think Chiseled Pro first year was the craziest peak in the sense of like he took his clothes off backstage and I was like, oh God, it's fucking on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was nasty. I remember that.
Hey, I just don't like it. It's just one of those things where it's like it's not like we are doing anything different. Like I have all the notes. It's really the same. It's just the body just does what it does, you know. And it's like I don't know, but like.
Well, to be fair about this peak versus the others, we were, like you alluded to, we were very very cautious about making sure we could make weight, not having to do the sauna bullshit. You know what I mean? And even once we made weight, not nearly as aggressive. I mean, every other peak prior to that, maybe aside from Chicago when we had a little stomach issue.
Yes.
He was sitting me down to eat meals and I was like tapping out. Like I physically cannot finish this meal. It's like 400 grams of rice, 100 grams of beef, some butter. And I'm like, dude, I fucking can't.
Yeah.
And that was not the way we did New York. And you can see it because I'm not like blasting full in New York. No. You can see it from pictures from past shows to this one. Very, very timid with the carb load. But it got us the result. And now, more data. Obviously, I'm going to try to make his job harder and putting on a few pounds between now and when we kind of recoup and get healthy before we officially prep for the O. But, more data. So hopefully that this peak shifts us more towards the chiseled look that we've had in the past. Yeah. Probably not as far as that because I don't think we'll have the room. And I think we all know Olympia ends up being a conditioning game for the most part, aside from the top 3 to 5.
I know. So. I said that too. Like, and I mentioned that on Beatty's podcast. I was like, it always tends to be a conditioning contest. And like a lot of guys like disagreed with me. And I'm like, okay. I mean, like Derek, Hottie, and Andrew are still shredded to fuck, guys.
Well,
like,
I think it's one of those things where it's like at that level, if you want to place top 5, top 10, it's a given. You have to be in shape, period.
Yes.
And then from there, it's a size game.
Right. Yeah. So
right. Like, but it's like that barrier to entry is conditioning.
Yeah. Like you can't even get into the top 10 in any division unless you're fucking ripped.
Yeah. You could have the prettiest shape in the world, but if you're not peeled, you're not squeezing top 5, top 10. It doesn't fucking matter.
Right. So, for the, we'll try and be fuller for the O, which will bring a little level of hardness back. Not that we were soft or anything, but it's just like, I know he can be harder. And that's just more like really getting that gritty, grainy veins and everything popping out. Cause that was the main difference, was like that first year at Chisel to the New York Pro look. Like, again, he took his clothes off and like just bulging veins just everywhere. And I'm like, just don't fuck this up. Just go. Like, and New York was different. We went for a more streamlined look. I wanted the waist to be the tightest it could possibly be. I wanted midsection control front to back to be the best that it could be, because we were getting feedback about it. And it was like, all right, fine. Okay. Like we're, if anything, we are adaptable. So like you give us the feedback and we'll work on it, but then don't tell us that we then didn't do it when you gave us that feedback. So, and up to this point, we've done what they've asked. And then, they might give us something else the next time. And it's like, then this time I was grateful that we got to talk to Tyler backstage and got some good feedback. And so, yeah, now it's just all the way for the O. So top 10 at the O to make sure we can be on the big stage at night. Got to make the top 10 to be able to do your routine at night. Only the top 10 walks on stage at nighttime.
I think that happens.
I do too.
Well, I'm very confident that we can do it. If we bring what we're supposed to do, we could do what we're supposed to do. Bring the legs back up a little bit, just revolumize. Because now Mike's training, squat patterns again and whatnot. Like, no, everything's feeling good. I think the stimulus from that will get the volume coming right back. And that was the difference between last year and this year too.
What do you think about Mike hack squatting 1 million pounds the day after New York?
I mean, I tell him to take it easy, and it's like, okay, I don't know. I mean, until he gets hurt, it's like, I guess, all right, go after it, man.
Yeah. Run it.
The best part was
I try to talk. I'm like, maybe we throw a little extra volume in today. Maybe we maybe just higher reps today. Like, we don't have to do 110% max effort load, but
and then the fucking gym pin comes out, bro.
Yeah. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, and then him saying on his story, easing my way back in. I'm like,
I know. I said that on I was filming for YouTube on Wednesday, and so our schedules kind of got a little off. So I needed Mike for a couple, and so anyway, I said on the video, I go, it's fucking pound for pound strongest guy I've ever seen. So, this doesn't even make sense. Like, I mean, I think I'm a pretty pound for pound strong guy, and I'm like, I feel like a pussy when we do a lot of stuff. I'm like, I'm getting beat by 2, 3, 4 plates on stuff, and I'm just like, per side, and I'm like, God damn, man. I'm like,
damn.
Sucks.
Honestly, that would hurt my ego. I know I would do that.
Dude, I used to lift like the same loads as Justin O'Donnell half the times, and he's strong. And so then I got this guy, and I'm just like, man, I'm just
it's like
I'm just like normal white guy genetics, not Italian. So like, that's like not fair.
Listen, I'm trying. Okay, my from now on, my first working set is what I like to do with the heavy stuff, and my second one is double digits. So I'm splitting the difference with you. Cooperation.
Yeah,
no, everything was over 10 today. I promise.
All right.
Damn, we do some sets that are only up to 10.
He does sets with 6 sometimes, like really.
Oh my lord!
Not on legs. You won't see me doing sets with
not
6 on legs, but like, bro, if I can chest press
crazy heavy
6 or 7 plates. And the difference, this is actually important. I was thinking about making an Instagram post about this to like just clear this for people. When I talk about intensity, like load is not intensity. So I don't need you to lift what I lift to think you're training intensely, right? As a coach, as a fellow athlete, as whatever. Don't get it twisted that like I just push the load every single fucking week on the brink of injury. Like, no, I've been at this for 10 to 15 years. Every single one of my reps, whether it's at 6 reps or 12 with a much lighter load, looks exactly the fucking same, right? Until that last one, when when Justin gives me a little help or like it's a partial rep, whatever. That's why I don't get injured. And if you don't reach that level of skill with training, you will get hurt.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you will get hurt if you push load the way I have been able to. So when you post my videos, like obviously I like being strong, right? It's fun. Max the shit out.
Being strong too.
Crazy
Why your
videos.
physique looks the way that it does.
It's true.
Right.
So it's not like I'm not hating on the guy, but I'm like,
no. And listen, we're getting older. Like I'm getting older. I know at some point the clock's going to run out on training the way I train, but I think for the most part, in my case, like because of I'm doing this, because of how standardized things are, I'm probably going to be able to do that a lot longer than most people, right? Because like when you think about intense, heavy, hard training, your mind immediately snaps to like Ronnie or Branch, and those guys were aggressive, like borderline violent with moving loads, right? And I'm not. Like my intent is violent, but I'm not explosive. There's nothing like there's no rebounds, there's no stretch reflex. Like it's all pretty standardized. So as long as it works, I'm gonna keep going. I mean, it's a prep, so like we had some some cuts and bruises from just trying to keep things up as long as we could until we started to dial down loads and volume, but it's working.
Yeah,
so
let me ask you guys this. Do you feel like cause personally this happens to me. In prep, I feel like I pick up less like niggles, like injuries. Like my body feels better, my mobility is better when I'm training. Versus off season, like my elbows, my knees, my back, my shoulder, everything gets fucked.
I think it's very simply, you can explain that just with how much extra body weight and water weight that you're carrying.
Yeah.
So you're and you're really strong. So your leverages are noticeably better when you're actually lighter.
Yeah.
So, and endurance is up and whatnot. And also I guarantee you that all of your guys' recovery capabilities when you're in prep are noticeably better because you're doing cardio.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm sure all of us are like me and don't do a damn thing for cardio in the office or very minimal. So it's like but it makes sense because let's think about it. In the off season, like, are you as locked in as you are in prep? Come on. No.
Try to tell yourself you are, but no.
Better too. You're taking care of yourself better. You drop that first 10 pounds immediately right off the rip, right? Okay, well, that's all water. So it's like, all right, cool. Now I'm carrying noticeably less fluid. Mobility is better. My leverages are better. I'm not carrying as much in my joints. And I've always been the same way. But it's in big guys like you, man. Like it's just you're going to be in pain more in the off season than you are in prep. A lot of
I just feel like people generally. Sorry to cut you off. I just feel like people generally subscribe to this mentality that like in prep is where they pick up all their injuries. And at times, like when you get closer and closer to a show. But like from my experience, from clients, from pet friends, people I know, whatever, once you get to a certain size, it's obviously water and leverages and all these kinds of things too. But like once you get to a certain size and your mobility just goes to shit, like getting into the bottom of a squat or getting a bar past fucking 90 degrees, like it ain't easy, bro.
Yeah, it's a size thing too. You know what I mean? Like the people picking up a bunch of injuries in prep are quite frankly the ones who have not as much tensile strength and tendons or ligaments. They're smaller.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? They're just not as big of bodybuilders yet.
Right.
And then eventually it shifts. Totally shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a difference too between an injury and just like these nagging aches and pains. And I'm the same way. Like, dude, when I'm deep off season, my fucking elbows are a wreck.
Yeah.
And you like constantly have a lower back pump because you're heavy as shit.
Yeah, bro.
Sleep sucks because like now your chest is 3 inches
fucking
thicker.
breathe.
Yeah, exactly. So now recovery capabilities are already in the shit.
Yeah.
RVs.
When I said prep injuries, like I had an actual adductor injury. Like we were doing a set.
Yeah, I know.
I was doing like rep 4 or 5, and I felt the twinge, and I was like, "No, that's it, cut it."
Yeah.
In general, I've been fairly injury free. Like I haven't had any surgeries, no torn muscles. My left shoulder is kind of fucked, but we're working on it with Marlon with soft tissue. Overall, it's been relatively problem free. And to be honest, another shameless plug here, the support from Authentic Aminos and keeping me like with that stuff in my fridge for me has been a fucking game changer, dude. I am in one piece largely because I have as much Clo as I can stuff in my fridge available to me. I think that shit's fucking magic. Because I wake up without the normal aches and pains that I've had, even in off season, it's significantly better. And, when you speak to recovery ability, I think that peptide alone is a massive advantage if you can afford to be using it regularly. Not that I advise anybody to be using peptides like 24/7, nor do I believe there's some like panacea or like golden egg, but that it definitely helps.
Yeah, that's one that you can most likely run year round.
For sure.
Or for just longer stretches.
Right.
So going into Legion, is there anything you're changing for Tonio, or are you just
trying to bring him in razor sharp? You know what I mean? Like I just, we made a call to be. I loved the look in Pittsburgh too. Like,
yeah,
kind of getting annoyed eventually just hearing the same thing over and over. Oh, I wasn't as sharp. I'm like, Really? Because like I've got photos from him 30 minutes prior to stage and he's lasers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so then it's like eventually I heard it was like, well, Tonio from the front in New York, but from the back in Pittsburgh. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like you can't like pick and choose. You know, well, I like the side chest from New York Pro, but I like the back double from the Olympia, and then the front lat spread from Legion last year. And it's like, come on, like now it's like the Frankensteining shit.
Yeah.
So
just judge what's in front of you.
Right. So anyway, I loved both looks. They really weren't that drastically different. It was maybe a 1.5, 2 pound difference. You know, a little heavier in Pittsburgh. So just let me eat a little bit more. And I told him, I said, I want to be blasting full. Like, I've never had you truly max to the gills. And, man, he loved it. He loved it. He was like, man, that was awesome. He was like, I felt enormous up there. Antonio pumps up as he's posing. So, I mean, I've never seen anybody else grow visually backstage as he pumps up. I mean, I'm talking an inch of just like, boom.
Guy probably pumps up just walking around, bro.
He's retarded. I mean, he's the most gifted guy I've ever worked with.
Stupid.
And so, you know, it's just, you know, it's that, and he loved it. I mean, that was our monster look. You know what I mean? All right, cool. And so
I think even though we had this conversation before on this podcast about would you rather be like blasting full and slightly spilled or like flat but peeled. Obviously, we all want to be peeled, but it feels good to be fucking full blown. And like, I mean, pumping, like, bro, you're just like, whoa. Like,
I've never experienced that personally because, like, I'm not a big guy, so I'm always err on the conditioning side because that's my strength. So I try to play to my strengths. But yeah, I mean, I'm certainly going to try this year to be blasting at some point.
Just for the fun of it, bro. Just let it fucking rip.
Hey, if after the first show, if Toronto doesn't go very well, then at Chisholm, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm just going I'm gonna be 12-5 on stage. I'll put on 10 pounds from 1 week to the next and say, fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just razor sharp. Pull as much fluid out of him as I possibly can. Not worried about him being a little on the flatter side because again, Tonio's never flat. You know, I mean, like I said, even when I don't feed him like crazy into a show, he pumps up backstage and he's just like ridiculous. I mean, he's making top 8 at the Olympia under 220.
Yeah, it's insane.
Under 220. And then
he's got built-in shoulder pads, bro.
Yeah, I know. And then at New York, he's 227 on stage. And at Pittsburgh, he was probably close to 229.
Yeah.
Crazy. You know, it's stage time. Like, I know what his fasted weight is. I know what his weight is after meal.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we eat it a couple more times at the menu. We don't have a scale. All right, whatever. I'm extrapolating, guessing, but it's like, I know how much water he's drinking, I know how much food he's eating. I know when he's peeing and whatnot. It's like, I'm guessing. So, no, that's really that different, you know? So, but at the O, I'm going to try and catch an aggressive rebound, immediately come off the peds though, like completely like off everything besides, you know, just TRT and like give him a bigger break. And then just food like crazy. Just add.
Yeah.
And then if he can be 230 with New York conditioning and dryness at the O, I think that he can make the top 6. First call out at the O. That's the goal. And then from there, it's about.
Yeah, we've covered Tonio and the looks here in successive podcasts, and I think you guys made the right call in Pitt because if Tonio had come in smaller next to Crizzo, I don't think it would have been the same comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him, dude. He got a lot better in a week.
Yeah,
he did, and they nailed that. That was like an A+ slam dunk home run peak.
Yeah,
his peak in
his posing
as good as it can get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you see guys make changes in that amount of time, but that was pretty, in my opinion, substantial. Like with the posing too, obviously, but like,
yeah, that was
like that was pretty substantial difference for literally a week later.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't get past the fact that some guys have Crizzo winning the front double, and I'm just like, I
think Tyler had him, didn't he?
That's a shame.
I heard somebody on some
thought,
podcast. I heard somebody say, I don't remember who, so I'm not gonna throw names around. Someone said Crizzo won the back double. And I was like, are you fucking drunk?
Somebody argued that at Pittsburgh, and I'm like, it doesn't matter how great he hits that pose. It's not a good pose for him.
He literally, this was the first time he's ever been on stage and not looked like a fucking retard trying to hit that pose. That's the only difference is he actually looked like he was hitting a back double instead of like some cerebral palsy kid trying to fucking hit a back double. Like that's all it was, bro. Like if you subjectively look at that, like that's the first time he looked like a professional doing a back double bicep.
Yeah.
So
Fuad made a great point, and I said this too, that when I knew that when they were not working them that hard, they did 2 rounds of posing for the final call out at prejudging, and they did 2 rounds for the confirmation round. I knew when they only did 2, I was like, they're going to give this to Krizo.
Yeah.
Because, and then I was getting kind of frustrated because I'm like, well, what the hell is this? 2 rounds? That's that's baby shit. I'm like, we can't even get a third? And I'm like, last year they did 7.
Yeah.
And like at the O, you get worked hard. So it's like, and he was fading. He was fading both at the end of prejudging and at the end of
Krizo was
round.
Yeah.
Krizo,
yeah. I mean, he does, bro. He always does.
Like and these are all things Fuad said. I'm just paraphrasing what Fuad said on Bro Chat. He's like, he was really struggling. And it's like, how is that not part of the criteria? It's just like, I mean, and then he made a good point of like, yeah, but if it was that decisive, if they already knew who they had their winner, do you just pose them until someone cracks? And it's like, well, no, but a third round could have made it a hell of a lot closer. And then it's like, okay, hey, maybe we need that 4th round because that third round it's like, and if you're getting better and someone's fading, it's like, it can go like that. How many times have we seen shows where people come out looking wacky and then it just doesn't stay?
Yeah.
It's every weekend. So whatever. I mean, I just wanted to $100,000.
If you can pose me and Cody for fucking 15 minutes for second place,
we're second and third, get fucked.
I think you can pose Tonio and Krizo for 5 minutes for $100,000.
I know. So
I'm not a judge. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, but honestly, like we didn't realize this, but and I don't necessarily want to get anybody in trouble, but I heard that the prize money for Legion went down. I guess it's just the minimum, which I think the minimum is 10.
Really?
So I don't know. I'm not certain. I heard through the grapevine.
Why? I still don't like that they moved it to the spring. I wish it was still in the fall after the fucking.
I loved it in the fall. I loved it there. As one of the last O quals.
There's no fucking US shows in the fucking fall. I mean, I'm pissed about it because I want to compete at the end of the year. But like, there's no US shows at the end of the fucking year.
Yeah, no. After Texas Pros, the last US Open.
Yeah, then there's fucking it's still like a quarter of the fucking.
Mexico there right after the O, is it right?
Yeah, but that. I don't know.
Like then you get okay. So like Tonio's probably going to end up doing that. So then it's like because we just get we jump in there, get a quick one. He's already in shape. I mean, arguably he was better there than he was at the O because he rebounded and he was full as a house. So it's just like it's tough. That's it's a great show for a pro debut, but you're going to run into Olympians and then it's
also that the fucking lighting and production of that show.
Oh, okay. So that part, dude, Brianni and Joe Sullivan told me about it, and some of my athletes did too. Like that was the worst show as far as how it was run that they've ever seen. And I'm like,
bro,
damn.
They when because I won my pro card the week before, obviously, and the promoters were there, and they were trying to get me to do it, but obviously I wasn't going to. So I was like keeping an eye on it because I was like, maybe I'll do it next year. Mm. The second I saw those pictures, I was like, no shot.
Yeah, I couldn't. There was no live stream, so I have no idea.
Yeah, there was no live stream either. Yeah.
Luckily, Super Slice was there, and because he had Reagan, and so I was like, "Can you just keep me in the loop?" Like, I mean, I know our guys are competing against each other, but
Clarita did it too, right?
Yeah.
And did Sergio do it?
No.
Someone else did it. I feel like someone else might have done it. But like, there were some good fucking bodybuilders in that show, and nobody looked good.
I had John Duncan in that show as well.
Yeah, he's down here.
First call out. Yeah, he trains in champs.
Yeah,
and then what is this for Legion?
Yeah, it's 10 grand.
Yeah, so it did go down because last year it was 20. So
that's correct.
So quite frankly, we wouldn't have done that. Like we would have shut it down after Pittsburgh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would we were doing it because it's like, well, hey, like we have a chance at making it.
Why? Do you know why it got sliced in half?
Just probably just money. Maybe a sponsor didn't come through or whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah, just every other show seems to be going up.
Well, yeah. So 10 is the minimum for opening. And so, I mean, New York went down from last year to this year.
Did it?
I was just going to ask about New York.
25 this year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure it was 30 last year.
I didn't know that.
Might have been more. I mean, I would have expected, because Pittsburgh keeps rising like crazy, and then Dubai is going crazy, and the Arnold is going crazy. I kind of thought New York would also just keep going on a sliding scale upwards.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of these shows were doing that for a little bit. Like the bigger shows.
It is what it is. We don't compete for the money. But, I mean, it definitely doesn't hurt to have your guys, when they win, they actually can maybe like do something with some of that.
Yeah, when you got a guy that's like a perennial show winner, it matters.
Yeah. I always forget about that, like, as shows.
Yeah.
Like, you're qualifying for the O, but like, if you win Pitt, that's $100,000. Like, that's major.
Andrew cleared $1 million this year. Like,
Derek made $1 million last year.
Shrugged it off, but like for a lot of people, that's fucking life changing.
Yeah, right? So, like, because Krizo's Czech, right?
Yeah,
he lives in Czech or whatever. I'm not. Is it Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic? Which one it is now? I know it's changed, but like, I have to believe that $100,000 US, because it's all paid in USD, is a fucking ton of money over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, and I know he's full-time bodybuilder, so he's fully sponsored and everything. But I imagine that that's like a huge pressure relief.
Dude, anybody that says $100,000 doesn't help is a fucking asshole. I don't care how much money you have. Like, still a lot of money.
Fuck, dude. A lot of money. I would be grateful for a 10 if I got $10,000. I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. We're like kind of talking out of our asses here a little bit because I don't know for certain, but I just did the math. That is $2 million in Czech currency.
Oh, fuck my life. Fuck.
No, I would think it's all relative, because it's like, well, what if gasoline costs $10,000?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's all relative, but still, like, I mean, I certainly know this: $100,000 in USD goes really far in Brazil, because I've been there.
Yeah, I'm gonna win $100,000 to go to Thailand, bro.
And people are looking at me like I just gave them their month's salary.
Yeah,
in Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, if I won $100,000, that's life-changing money for me. That's a huge investment. Like, that's
bro.
It changes a lot of
stuff. Put that money into something, and years ahead of schedule now.
For sure,
you can invest in it.
Right, you want to go Thailand, Luke? Is that the?
I said, if I win $100,000, I said, fuck, I'm out, bro. I don't need to work anymore. Yeah. Fucking Thailand.
Sometimes I consume too much media, and I start looking. I'm like, where can I move and like
on the fucking way, bro? Yeah,
be a millionaire tomorrow. Take all my money and just move it, and I'll just pick up and move. I work remote.
Yeah.
Sometimes I definitely
to live like a fucking king over there, bro, for like no money.
Dude, sure. And because I bitch to Mike about this all the time. I'm like, I should not feel the way I feel with the business that we have. And I'm like, it sucks. I'm like, when did this change? Because I remember when I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment, and as long as I could pay my rent, pay my car payment, buy groceries, and buy my drugs, I was good. And like, now it's like, that ain't good enough anymore. And I'm like, man.
Well, it's like, I mean, I'm 28. And like our parents' generation, like by this age, it was normal to have a house, settle down, whatever. Bro, if you're a homeowner before 30, like, you're killing it, bro.
Yes.
Like, it's just different times, dude.
Yeah.
It's different times, bro. Like, the cost of living, I mean, everywhere now, it's just fucking retarded.
Yeah. I'm like real estate's kind of like something that interests me, so I'm constantly looking at stuff. And then I just get my own feelings hurt, and I get angry when I look and see that, oh wow, 5 years ago this house sold for $300,000 and now it's being listed for $3 million. I'm like, 10x return in 5 years. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. It's insane, bro.
There's going to be a market correction, and something's going to have to be done. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of like Big Fed being like overly involved, but like there's going to have to be some type of regulations put in place, because we're going to price out so much of the middle class. I know this is a bodybuilding podcast, but like, we're going to end up pricing out so much of every working class to the point where, unless you truly are making $500,000 or more, you're not going to even be in the conversation for buying a home. You know, I mean, starter homes at 350, 400K, that's not a starter home. That's like 10 years of income for some people.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. Like, it's unsustainable. And, you know,
it's like 6 years. Yes. Like 6 years ago, like a starter home was like 100, 150K.
Yeah. We're going to have a massive housing prices shift once again.
Even renting now, like if you want to get a place for like $2,000 a month, they require like 5 times rent's monthly income, which is like retarded. It's like someone making that much money isn't staying in a place that's like $1,800, $2,000 a month.
They want 5x monthly.
Some places do. Most places at least 3, but some places up to 4 or 5 now. Yeah,
that's crazy,
dude. Like my parents back home. Obviously, where I'm from in Connecticut, it's ridiculous. Like the cost is fucking insane. And like my parents, we lost our house in 2022. They rent a spot now, and it's a small place, bro. And it's like $5,000 a month rent, and they wanted 4 times.
Oh my
God!
They wanted 4 times the income, the monthly income. So like my mom's parents had to like co-sign or whatever. They handled it, whatever the fuck.
Dude, but Dave Ramsey doesn't even say that, you know, they says like 35 to 40% of your monthly income goes towards housing or something like that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't even make fucking sense, dude.
Yeah, because that's what they're asking for is 4 times, which would be 25%.
I know.
That's so much
less. It's ridiculous.
That's a crazy ask.
But
goddamn, man.
It's the whole idea of disappearing from social media sometimes is so appealing.
Oh, I know.
I mean, obviously business revolves around social media for most of us, but man, we have a rule here that usually it's like after 8:30, we're just off of social media just for the night, like not touching the phone, not doing anything like that. And that's my favorite time of the day, if we're being quite honest. Like that little bit of time just to like listen to music or read something or just like enjoying conversation with your significant other. Like that's so important.
Well, this is an important topic too, because I know, Jacoby, you're going to immediately agree with this. And I assume you guys as coaches are going to say probably the same fucking thing I'm going to say, but the expectations for availability as a coach has gotten fucking insane.
Like when I say 24/7,
when I say like, hey, like get your check in by this time, because if you don't, it might not be done till tomorrow. It's never tomorrow, but I just give you that warning. Like the fact that that's objectionable to some of you guys is fucking crazy to me. And the fact that you want me to answer you at like 9:30 p.m. about some question that you have about a random ass thing or a plan I gave you 8 hours ago, like, no, you can wait till tomorrow, right? Like this whole and I don't know if it ever gets fixed, because I think it's just part of this industry now. People are
it's the whole sell. It's the sell of like the coach client best friend thing.
Yes, it is.
And now everyone hires their coach and they want their coach to be their best friend, and they can text their best friend whenever they want, ask their best friend questions, and it's fucking gay and it's ridiculous. And it's so annoying, bro. But
Luke's 2 favorite words, gay and retarded. You think I should have told you.
I'm bringing them back, bro. They got for too long.
Yeah, hey, you can say it on Meta and Instagram now. So
yeah.
Hey, can you actually look up GIFs by using the word retarded now? Because I've been trying to for years.
Oh, I don't know. Or you can't? You don't know?
I don't know. I'm just wondering.
I don't think you can.
I'm gonna check right now. But
there you go. But I just
so
I
think,
huh?
I said this is a good segue. Continue, but
I just think these fucking kids nowadays, like, and we've talked about this on here before, like everyone's just fucking coddled. No one grew up. Like, kids don't get their ass beat anymore by their parents. So like when coaches, like if you it just doesn't happen anymore. So like now as a coach, if I want to be like, hey buddy, like fuck off, like they'll like cry or like get really, really offended.
They
or like,
fire you.
I know, dude. I've got a kid
he
right
wasn't
now.
Nice, so I don't want to work with him anymore.
Mike.
They threaten you now.
Like, Mike had a kid can him because he didn't follow him back on Instagram.
Yes, that's real. That's real.
Yeah,
I have been.
Bro, I hate that though, because I feel obligated to do that too. I feel obligated to follow all of them back.
Yeah, but you don't care about them sometimes. You don't want to follow that. It's just real, bro. Like I don't. Whatever.
Let me just bitch about this guy for a second because I know he's not going to watch this. Not only did he not.
That's why you didn't get a follow.
Yeah.
Watch the fucking podcast, pussy.
He complained
Oh,
about
when you
that.
said Mike, I thought you meant Kendall. I didn't realize you were talking about Michael.
Black Mike.
No. So after my athlete questionnaire is really all I know about this dude. Not even a month in, he says, "Hey man, I got tickets to the Arnold Classic. Do you want to come spend the weekend with me?" Absolutely fucking not. I don't fucking know you.
He's starting off sounding gay from the fucking start.
Mike, he's 100% gay.
1,000.
And the fact that you didn't return the favor is why he got a butter.
Oh my god!
Return what
100%.
favor?
In fact, you denied his little date request, bro, and he got fucking pissed.
But this is part of the problem. It's like we talked about the friendship with coaches.
Yeah,
like,
no,
brother, you've paid me for a service. We really have no rapport yet. That's kind of crazy to be like,
yeah.
You got to
I
earn
expect
that
you
shit.
to come out to the Arnold Classic with me because I'm interested in this profession that you do, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a disconnect there, and that's a problem with a lot of clients these days.
Yeah. I had to tell a kid the same thing a couple of years ago. Like, I hired this kid, and like, he was like 19 years old. And like the second I hired him, he thought like we were gonna train together every day, and we were gonna hang out and get food and like all this stuff. And I was like, dude, stop. I was like, back off, bro. I was like, I do your diet. That's it. I was like, check in with me. We're not training. I was like, trust me, we're not training together. I'm not gonna do that. I was like, if I wanted to, I'd ask you myself.
That's one I get a lot, and it's the asking to train or the expectation that, and these aren't like, now granted, now I coach basically half of Raw, but like I didn't necessarily want it to be that way at first. And like, you know what? I only train with Mike.
Yeah.
People come into town, but like they're coming in on their dime and all of that stuff. And like and again, here's the thing. Yes, I have a 3-bedroom house. Some people will stay here, but not everyone gets invited to come and stay and live in my house for a weekend.
To your fucking house.
It's a personal space. This is like my life. Okay.
Yeah.
You are a very small piece of my large business, which is a small piece of my life. So I'm sorry, but it's like, it's a grain of sand on the beach. And it's like, I'm sorry, but like, no, this is like you coming and staying at my house for a week or whatnot is not really like high on my priority list. Not only that, but like we all train because we love to train.
Yeah.
And like, that's our personal time. I choose to spend that personal time with Mike a few days out of the week because we enjoy that together and we enjoy training together. There's no expectation though, you know? And
if someone wants to pay me extra for like training, that's different. But like,
yeah, totally. And like, you know, but if some, and like, I'll invite athletes to come into town, but again, it is that is an earned thing.
Yeah.
It's not like right off the bat, you know? And the rapport that Michael was talking about is like, I kind of at this point now set so many expectations at the beginning. It's kind of like I'm lecturing them, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And I have to. And it's like, you know, it's going to take 6 months for us to really have any true back and forth rapport and communication.
Yeah.
Because I don't know you at all. You don't know me at all. I don't know how you communicate. Some people it happens fast.
I think
drive with some people, right?
I think the thing is, I think because of social media, like for example, Justin, like if someone's going to hire you, they've probably followed you for a while, heard you talk, whatever. They probably feel like they know you.
Yes.
And you don't know them at all.
Exactly.
And so they like walk into this situation and then like treat you like they know you, like they've known you for years or some shit. And you're like, I don't know your fucking name, bro. So I think that's like just another, I don't want to say issue with social media, but like it leads to that.
No, totally. It leads to unrealistic expectations being placed upon us by athletes. And, you know, like, I don't want to complain too much because at the same time, I'm very blessed. You know what I mean? Like, I do truly understand how lucky I am. But at the same time, there's got to be, you know, it just comes down to a respect thing, in my opinion. You communicate You realize that, hey, you're hiring me for a service. If we become close, great. If it's just coach client and that's it, and there's not really like this budding friendship, that's fine too. Yeah. Because as long as we have a good professional relationship, then you're getting out of this what you are supposed to get out of it, if not slightly more, as long as especially if the results are really, really good.
It's just a weird thing. Like you don't hire an accountant and expect him to be your best friend. You know what I mean? Like, you hired a coach to get you in shape for a show or for whatever the fuck reason, and that's what he did. That's the service. You hire an accountant to do your fucking taxes. He does your tax. That's the service. You don't want to go fucking get food with your fucking accountant. You know what I mean?
I've got so many stories of this, like, because when you coach a lot of people, obviously there's some turnover and whatnot. And like, I've got plenty of, Mike knows of a very particular story of, a kid that I put a ton of time and effort into, put 70 pounds of muscle on him, and then, does 2 shows to me. I won't say any names, but I did say, 2 shows, does very, very well, and fails because it wasn't the show day experience that he was looking for.
What are you looking for?
So this topic is actually important to me because I'm on the inside of it with what I assume is people like this looking in, right? Because we are friends, and we were friends before we were coach and athlete, and we are better friends now that we are coach and athlete. Like, he comes over and my son talks his fucking ear off. Like, he's practically part of my family at this point. But like, you don't get that off the rip. Number one, you may not even ever earn it. You might just earn being nice with each other, right? As opposed to just being strictly business. But on the other side of this, be careful what the fuck you wish for, man, because most of you, I can tell you for a fact, will be incapable of drawing the line between friend and business. And like, when he tells me, hey dude, you fucked up, or hey, I need you to do better, or hey, I need you to push harder, I don't like take that personally, right? Like, I know that this is the business side of this conversation. When I see him in the gym, when I see him in the gym today, I'm not gonna say, hey dude, what the fuck? We're just gonna go about things like we normally do. I'm gonna work like he told me to work, and we're gonna keep moving forward. And I know for a fact, because he travels to basically every show with me, because we train in the gym together, because we hang out, that people are seeing that and thinking that's a typical thing. But I want to be very fucking clear. We were friends first. We're obviously better friends now. But when Justin travels with me, I pay for it all. I'm paying for his flight. He stays in my Airbnb or my hotel room. I usually pick up most of his food for the trip. Like, there are no expectations or like favors because you're a friend, because when we're getting ready for a show, man, that's fucking business. Right? Like, we sit down and shoot the shit while we're doing nothing the last 3 days before the show, but the rest of it is business. And I know for a fact, and if this offends you, you're probably exactly who this needs to find, that you are not going to be able to handle that relationship when it goes beyond just being a coach and athlete, because you're going to mix the things up, and the result is going to be worse.
Because people try to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and then it becomes like, hey man, do me a favor, like I need a cheat meal today. It's like,
or a late check-in, or this, that, or the other thing.
It starts to spiral. No. I'm going to coach you so much harder
also,
if friends or not friends.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I know, motherfucker. But and like, Mike takes great care of me, and like I appreciate that. And obviously some of the shows that we've done, we've had other athletes, so like, of course, we try and make sure that they chip in their fair share. But it still obviously falls probably pretty heavily on Mike. But I'll be honest, like, that is the expectation that I have for everybody if they want me to travel. Yeah. It's a shared responsibility, right? It's a shared financial burden, because it's getting so expensive to travel that it's like this. Here's another thing. Again, like, if people hear this and they get offended by this, then they're the right people to be hearing it. I don't coach people for a living for my fucking health. This is a business that supports my family. This is how I live, and just like any business out there, this is not a non-for-profit. This isn't like a public state college. This is a business, and it needs to be profitable. And at the end of the day, if I prep you for 6 months and you paid me $2,500 for that 6 months, but then I have to travel to your show, I'm going to end up almost netting zero off of that $2,500 you paid me to prep, because I spent all that money to travel for you.
Yep.
So where's the profitability there?
Yep.
If I do that for every single person, I travel like 20 weekends out of the year, most of the year. I mean, like there's going to be an 8-week stretch where I'm at a show every weekend for 8 weeks straight. There's a 13-week window where I have a show every single weekend for 13 weeks.
While
That's
you're on
not just
prep,
one person on stage either. That's like 3, 2, 4, 5, 8. You know what I mean? Like I have 6 people doing Chicago Pro alone. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, guys. Like we gotta. I'm not. This isn't a charity. And and the thing is, I never brag about this. I don't post this. I don't want the recognition for it. I do it because it's the right thing. If this was a charity, I am the most giving charitable contribution to bodybuilding out there. Because the amount of times that I have bailed out athletes who either can't pay, they lose their job, or whatever the case may be, paying for blood work, paying for fucking suits. Mike knows that story last year. I bought a girl a suit 2 days prior to the show because she didn't have a suit. A pro.
Crazy.
$500 I spent to get her a suit. And thank God we were able to make it work, right? And it's just like blood work, supplements, helping people get their, their super subs, you know what I mean? Like, guys, I've done it all. And it's like, and you know what? A lot of those people that I've helped have fucked me. And it's like, so, but you know what? I'm not going to stop doing that because it's who I am in my heart. And it's just like the person that I am. And my parents raised me to be that way. I'm fortunate enough to have things to be able to give back. But like the expectation, and Mike takes great care of me, like I said, but like that's, to an extent, a bit of an expectation for the business. And it just is what it is, He's not doing it because he's my buddy. He's doing it because like this is the expectation for work, Of course he's my great friend, but like this is a business trip when we're traveling, I mean, Mike and Sam and John don't even come sometimes because again, this is like, it's not a vacation, you know what I mean? This is work. So,
And on another note too, if you want like this hyper individualized, like look at me all week show experience, you're not going to get it from a top tier coach because they're doing too much work. You're likely not the only person in the show. Even if you are, they're still doing check-ins the entire time that you're competing. Fuck, I mean, Justin's in prep right now, not skipping a beat. Like add prep to that. Not that you should, give him any credit for being an athlete and a coach, but it's a factor. If you want that, man, go find a small-time coach where the results aren't going to be as good, but you get the warm and fuzzies and you can all go be happy off in the corner. But the reality is if you want that experience, if you want the results, those have to come first and they have to be a priority.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point when you get to a high enough level and you earn that respect with your coach, you earn like, a pro show first call outs or going to the Olympia. Now things get hyper individualized because you're a much smaller part of this group, right? You're at a new level. It's like I always say, like, did your fucking coach in high school give the JV guys extra practice time? Like, no, he practices and plays the varsity team. And you have to earn your ability to get into the lineup. Fucking earn your ability to get into the lineup. You don't just get gifted that because you paid the check. Right?
Yeah.
That's the bare minimum.
And this is mostly younger people. This is a younger thing. You know what I mean? Because like we're kind of getting older now, so like we're not the young guys in the room anymore, right? Like where Luke's 28, but still, I mean, he's just the rest of us are all in our 30s. And it's not it's not like when we started. We were in our early 20s. If not younger. And it's like that was a different time, but we also, in my opinion, didn't know what we didn't know. So we just took what we got and that was what we got.
Yes.
Whereas now social media and the accessibility to things and to people is so high that the younger crowd assumes that they need that type of coddled behavior from their coach, which they don't. And quite frankly, I actually think it's hindering a ton of their progress because they never get out of their comfort zone. They never get told that they did something wrong. They never get smacked in the mouth. Like, dude, I remember getting my face mask grabbed and the coach yelling at me to the point where spit was coming out of his mouth and on my face.
You go to fucking jail now.
Bro,
Dude.
what did I say? What did I say? No, these kids don't get their ass beat anymore. By parents, by coaches, by nobody.
Right.
It shows.
And honestly, I think a lot of it stems from the parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not to go too far off track here, but bro, I feared the hell out of my dad.
Yes.
I kept my ass in line a lot, and I was a mischievous kid, but not like a trouble, not like I didn't cause, like I wasn't like in trouble, like big trouble, but like just like mischief, right? Just like a boy. And so, but like, man,
bro, there was one time when I like first got my driver's license that like I got pulled over and one of my buddies had weed on him, and instead of the cop writing up a ticket or anything, he just called my dad. I was like, that's worse. I was like, don't call him, please. He was like, I'll let your parents handle this. I was like, fuck. Dude, I'd rather go to jail for a night, bro. Fuck that.
I got pulled over and they threw me in the back of a cop car and drove me to my house and delivered me to my parents.
My dad would meet me at the door with his fucking fist, bro.
Oh the cops literally had to calm my dad down before they like let me go, because they were like, "Hey, bro, like, don't beat his ass." And so we don't need to be coming back here for a domestic. And I'm just, hey, that's the real world, bro. Yeah. My parents
it doesn't happen anymore.
I had parents. I didn't have friends. You know,
the pendulum's gonna swing. And all these fucking soft fucking soy people are going to fade out. And you're never going to be successful if you, at anything, if you're that fucking sensitive.
Back. Like the generation of like Mike's kids, the pendulum's already started kind of swing back because the parents, like we're of parent age now.
Yeah.
And like, you know, Mike and Sam and, you know, and so it's like, okay, they're raising their kids the way that they were raised. So it's kind of swinging back a little bit.
Right.
And it just goes like this, you know, but that Gen Alpha, I think, is what they are, right? Like
whatever they are.
Alpha, fuck if I know. That sounds about right.
It's something like that. So, but like they're starting to, you know, it's kind of swinging, which I'm grateful for, man. Like enough with the purple hair bullshit.
Yeah, bro.
Amen, brother.
I just want to coach. I just want to coach some athletes again, man. Just fucking athletes.
Dogs.
Be an athlete.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I was gonna say. Like, do you think there's a way that we can change that narrative of like expectation, or do you think this is just something as coaches we have to live with for a certain amount of time until another generation changes?
I think it'll shift back naturally. I don't think there's anything we can do. I think like because of social media, like, you got to remember, dude. Like when we started bodybuilding, I mean, I'm obviously the latest here, but like. Even when I started, like social media and bodybuilding wasn't like they didn't like go hand in hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, it was just kind of becoming a thing. Whereas now it's like everything's out there, steroid talk, everything, coach and client relationships. So like these people come into a coach client relationship with, like we said, like false expectations of like what to really expect. But every now and then, I'm sure you guys can attest, you do get that one client that's just like, shut up and does his shit. And if you got to chirp him a little bit, he takes it, he eats it. He's like, all right, I'll be better. Right.
Yeah.
And I think those kids eventually are going to be the ones that see success, stick with coaches long enough to see success. Cause all the fucking pansies, they just quit the second you fucking say anything to them. Yeah. So eventually in time, those people that can't be coached will fade out, I think. But
so I don't know. I think we actually have to do something though, but it's not that we have to change anything. It's that we need to stand fast to what we are, right? Like
you can't change.
It's gonna be tempting to cave and afford for some of these behaviors to keep your roster up, to make the money to feed your family and pay your mortgage and all that shit. But if we want this to change, the majority of us cannot give into that shit. Like those people go to whoever.
Yeah, I'm dealing with this right now. I had a kid compete on Saturday. And he absolutely fucked his peak up. Like his communication was fucking horrible. I asked him for pictures at one point and he said, it's cold outside. He was waiting in his car to go in and get touched up for tan. And I said, I need pictures before you go in. Cause I had to tell him what to eat like right after he was on stage in like 2 hours. And he's like, where? It's cold outside. And he never sent me pictures. Like he just fucked off, completely ignored me. And like, I can tell right now he's kind of on the brink of like, because I got on him before, and I was like, dude, every little detail matters right now. If I tell you I need to talk to you in 15 minutes, I mean 15 minutes, not 25, not 35. I mean 15 minutes. If I tell you to eat X amount of grams or do this or do that, I mean exactly what I said, right?
Yeah.
And like he was like getting annoyed because I kept asking for pictures and I kept wanting to talk to him. He's like, can you just tell me what my next couple meals are? I was like, no, I can't. And he was getting frustrated. And then like the night before the show and the morning of the show, he just kind of started ghosting me. And I don't know what the fuck he ate or drank, to be honest with you. And like, I got to get on this kid, have that conversation with him. But I know if I do, he's just going to be done. So I'm like dealing with it right now because I'm like, I don't want to lose the kid as a client, but I can't coach somebody like that.
It's the only way to get your best results is being on top like that.
Yeah. Then your reputation's associated with that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a way about having those tougher conversations. Obviously, practice has made, it makes it easier, but like, it's just a matter of like, I like to use kind of my coined phrases of like, hey man, we need to set some expectations for how things are going to go, as well as how we're going to do things the next time. Yeah. And that way, and if you always come from a place of like care, where it's like, hey, I'm doing this because I care and because I want you to get the best results. This is a mutually beneficial relationship because we are both benefiting. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. So that, usually people are pretty receptive to that. And Luke, if they're not, then they're not worth it. You know what I mean? If people can be receptive to like you being a stand-up guy and caring, then it's not worth your time.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I told him. I was like, dude, if you want a coach that doesn't give a shit, he writes you out a peak week plan like 5 days ahead of time. That's not me, but you can go find somebody.
Well, you guys can't be expecting your coach to want this more than you do. Like, if you're not willing to do the things they send you, there's only really two options. Either it's truly ridiculous, which like, hey, call me in 15 minutes or send me photos in 30. Not ridiculous. Or you just don't want it bad enough. And that's fine. We say this all the time in this podcast. It's okay if you don't want it, but I'm not the coach to work with if you don't want it.
Yeah, just don't talk about it. Be about it, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool if you want to be middle of the road. Like, we don't all need to be fucking superstars. This isn't for everybody. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's this, whether it's the corporate world, it doesn't matter. But don't act and then even putting up your finances, even paying for this, and then not trying to get the most out of it is fucking insane.
It's so expensive now to compete. I mean, I do feel like that we're already kind of actively doing something towards like that shifting of the guard with just talking about it, right? Like we're just, we're some of the, maybe we're going to become the old heads here very soon. And it's like, all right, that's fine. You know what I mean? But like what my hope is that just like when I was young, I wanted to be around the old heads. I wanted to sit with them. I wanted to talk to them. I wanted to learn from them. And my hope is that will continue to happen. And I think there's enough of them that will, and they will do the right things and they'll go on to the right path and they'll see success. And because I see it, I see tons of young kids killing it. And I'm like, damn, man, I wish I had that kid on my team. And so like, cause he's doing all the right things and he's got a good coach and he's taking advantage of his youth. He's growing. He's maximizing his early years of growing when he can put on all that muscle up front. And that makes me happy to see. So just like us bringing awareness, not that it's like, man, what are we going to do? It's like nothing more than what we're doing, which is just simply talking about it and bringing awareness that, hey, there's no shortcuts. This is a long-term thing. If you want to go to, you have to be realistic with your goals to an extent where it's like, 100%. How far do you really want to take this? Because I get told constantly, I want to go to the Olympia. I'm like, okay, well, you better give me a monster effort every day for the next 10 years. Because that's what it takes, or else, no offense, but like, you don't really want to go to the Olympia. You just want to say you went to the Olympia. And that's a very big difference. And just like Mike said, it's like, not everybody has to go to the Olympia. It's okay. And not everybody even has to win at the regional level. That's okay. If you give me, just all I care about is effort anymore at this point. Like, just give me effort. Don't waste my time, because your money is just as green as anybody else's. So if you want my help, by all means, I'll help you. But like, I'm just asking you for the bare bones minimum to me, which is maximum effort. That's all I care about anymore. And that's the hardest thing sometimes to get out of people, because they self-sabotage. They they give themselves a scapegoat. They fuck something up on purpose. So that way they have that scapegoat of like, I would have won, but like, fuck that, you know what I mean? Or like, if I just given a little bit more, it's like, why would you want to live your life like that?
Yeah.
But that sums up a lot of people's like entire persona as a person. You know what I mean? It's like they just can't be okay with understanding that sometimes your very best still ain't good enough.
Yep.
It's so hard for people to swallow that pill. And it's like, brother, I will gladly take that every day of the week than be like, what if?
Oh, yeah.
That kills me more than anything.
Dude, that's the literal only reason I can put myself on a bodybuilding stage butt naked in front of 1,000 fucking people is because I know that I did literally everything I could possibly have done to be my best that day. So like, I don't really get nervous at shows. I don't really get anxiety like some people do. And I do for other things. But like when it's something like that, it's like, there's literally nothing more I could have possibly done. So I just live with it at that point.
Yeah. And that's how I've treated this whole year where it's like, because dude, I was so close to being done, you know, after the knee surgery and just like really struggling to come back and just the frustrations with it all and like the neurological damage that occurred during the surgery. It's like, I was so close. Yeah. And I had every reason to be done because the business is, you know, very big and time consuming. And it's like, I could just easily go into that and I'd still be in bodybuilding. I could train how I want to train and that. But I just like that what if of like, just what happened, just one more time, what's the worst that can happen?
Dude, that
all right.
That literally drives like so much of what I do in life is like the fear of like being on my deathbed and thinking like, what if I had done that? Or what if I gave that everything? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, I talk about this all the time. It's like in the terms of retirement, and the one I always bring up is Ian. Man, I hope I'm in a place like Ian where I can say I did enough. And obviously Ian's maybe making a comeback here, but that's a choice, right? Ian was able to walk away from this happy, healthy with a family. And like, that's at this point, like if you ask me what I want out of bodybuilding anymore, it's not to go to the Olympia. Like now that I have it, like that's fucking fantastic. I always wanted to do that. That's always the goal. I just want to be able to get to the end of this and say, there is nothing more I could have done because I know 10 years from now, I'm going to say, fuck, like, God damn it. Like if I had just done that, I might have gotten this much farther.
As I'm saying, imagine how shitty of a feeling that would be.
Yeah. Terrible.
Like, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
When you get to that point, you know, I think, you know, for Ian's sake, like, I don't want to speak for him, but my guess is he probably felt like I've accomplished everything that I really think that I can accomplish, right? He's placed 7th at the Olympia. You know, is that his ceiling? Maybe. I think and then for a lot of us, our own perspective of what's the maximum that I can accomplish. And once you get to a point where it's like, I feel like I've accomplished literally everything that I can in this, and to continue is to just kind of blindly be chasing nothing, then it's like, I mean, unless it's just for pure satisfaction and enjoyment. Because there are a lot of people who do that. They just keep competing because they love it and like this is their hobby. And I love those people because they're true bodybuilding fans. Like they just love this and that's why they do it. But when you're like so uber competitive, it gets to a point where it's like I've accomplished, I think, everything that I can. Like my best years might be behind me, so it's like okay, maybe get out while I'm still healthy. And
that's one of my like metrics for knowing when I'm going to be done is when I feel like I have brought my best and now I'm still putting in that same 110% and just watching my body not give me back what it used to. And just knowing at that point, like, all right, what I'm putting into this probably isn't worth what I'm getting out of it at this point. So, like, and as a competitor too, it's like the thing that excites me about bodybuilding, which is why I never classic, any of those divisions never really appealed to me, is the constant like, oh, I looked like this show, but what will I look like next show? Right? The improvement, like how far can I take this? And if I hit that point where I feel like I've already taken it as far as I can and I can't get better, that's a sign for me that like, all right, I'm done here. Yeah.
I think it's we talk about, this conversation about why are you doing this? We talk about this all the time on the podcast. If you heard what we just said and your motivation isn't to do it, like to just find your peak, and it's I want to win this show, or I want to go to the Olympia, or I want a contract. You should think on that for a while.
Yeah.
Because this is not about, like, this is not without consequence. Like that, for most people, this endeavor will have a consequence. And now, whether it's health related, or it's family related, or it's job related, or whatever it turns out to be,
all of it,
there are consequences to chasing this, right? And if your motivation is not correct, like, I'm sorry, not only are you going to underperform, but you're still going to accrue all the negative shit that comes along with it if you had done it right and succeeded to begin with.
Facts.
So look where your motivation is, because I promise you, you're not going to be able to do this forever or as long as you could if your only goal is like make it to the O, or like win an overall.
And that in and of itself, I think, is a flawed perspective on what we should be like when we're setting goals for a subjective sport that is based on judgment and comparison.
Right.
Because that is a quantitative goal. Like, I want a contract, I want to win this show, I want to go to the Olympia. All of that is quantitative as opposed to qualitative. Whereas, like, I want to bring my absolute best. I want to try to be, 5 pounds more muscular and a little bit more conditioned than I was at the last show. That has nothing to do with anything about the other guys there, because that stuff is way out of your control. So it's like that's kind of like the old argument of like quality over quantity. And if you are getting better, like that's why I view bodybuilding as the purest form of self-improvement, because the sport that's all it's based off. You know what I mean? Some guys get a slightly better placing than others because they improve every show, whereas other guys are kind of just like maintaining.
Dude, if you just focus on like being 1% better, or like every year being 5 or 10% better, and you do that for a decade, you'd be surprised where you end up. If you don't obsess over like placings and pro cards and fucking whatever, like, just show up and do the fun. I got kids ask me all the time, like, oh, do you think I can get my pro card this year and this, that, and the third? And I tell them, I'm like, if you did or you didn't and you came home, what would change? Would you do anything different?
That's my favorite perspective and argument for the pro card thing.
Yeah, because I'm like, if you win, you got to come home, you got to do cardio, you got to take drugs, you got to train, you got to eat food. If you lose, you got to do cardio, you got to take drugs, you got to train, you got to eat food. So what's the fucking difference?
Run your dead end job the next Monday after the show.
Yeah, ain't shit changing, bro.
Go back to your miserable wife.
Yeah, so if you just focus on like actually fucking getting better yourself instead of these like you said, like quantitative fucking like goals of pro cards and Olympias and whatever contracts, you'll be surprised. If you just tunnel vision it, you'll be surprised where you end up.
Yeah. Comparison is the thief of joy. So when you focus only on the comparison side of our sport, which is like winning, and like, I want to win this so bad. I mean, I've had athletes literally want it so bad to the point where they lost it because they wanted it too much. And then when we finally were able to have a conversation, it's like, you realize you lost the show weeks ago because of the fact that you wanted it so bad that you stressed yourself out the last month before the show. And there was no fixing that, you know?
Even like backstage, like I've learned to just like look at the floor, because like everyone looks like a freak. Everyone looks like a freak backstage, and you will convince yourself you're going to finish like 10th place. You look at like 10 different guys and you're like, that guy's better than me. That guy's better than me. Fuck, that guy's better than me. If you just look at the ground and don't even look at them, you end up in the first call out.
Dude, I felt that way back. I remember at Nationals, there was like, because there were so many middles, I'm like, and I'm just kind of like, scanning and whatnot. And we're all in this big line. And I'm just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, you can click through every single one's pictures on NPC News Online, and I'm like, I remember seeing this guy backstage, and I thought, he was
dude, there was this. I might have told this story on here, but at the Amateur Olympia, obviously, like international guys can do it too, right?
Yeah.
So I was always worried. I was like, I didn't really know of anyone good in the supers that was doing it from the U.S., but I was like, knew a couple guys, but I was like, there's going to be some international freak that shows up and fucking blows me out of the water, right? And I'm backstage, and some guys, like, I look across, like, where I'm sitting, and there's this dude, like, right by the window. and like the sun's beaming in on him, and he's got a gas tank top on, and his shoulders are like out to here. He's like bald dude, ripping veins, huge tattoos, looks like a fucking monster. And I texted Nate, who was obviously there with me. I was like, I fucking told you, bro. This fucking freak back here is gonna fucking smoke me. And I was like, I'm fucked. I was like freaking out. He's like, he literally told me, he was like, put your phone down, look up at the ceiling. He was like, I guarantee you he's missing something. Dude didn't have a pair of legs to save his fucking life. He finished in like 9th place. Didn't even like do his posing routine. But like backstage, I was like, who the fuck is that? Like he looked like a fucking high level pro.
Yeah.
So you never know.
No, that's a great point. Justin, I don't want to keep you much longer, but I do want to ask you this question. I know you don't have a lot of free time. You're very busy, a lot of clients. But when you do have free time, what occupies your free time?
Oh, right now, like in prep, I mean, I like lay on the couch, like doom scrolling and watching TV because I don't have attention for anything. But today was a high carb day. So, which is, so I've actually had mental capacity. So I played Red Dead Redemption 2 for like 2 hours today.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so, and like I've already, I'm just running around doing random shit because I've already beaten the game like 10 times over. But that was actually really enjoyable. I was like, man, why have I been not playing my PS5 like this whole prep? I was, I'm a gamer. I love playing games, like video games. I'm a console gamer, not a computer gamer. So I'm a PS5 guy. I'm more of an open world RPG type of player. So I've, played Fallout. I played RDR2, the Hogwarts game. The Last of Us 2. I hated Resident Evil, so like I won't play that game. But like that's what I like to do. So like because it's mission based, I don't like playing online, and it's like very relaxing to me. Whereas like the last time I played a first person shooter online, I'm getting screamed at by some 12-year-old who's like from across the fucking map. I'm like, this sucks. I'm being called a faggot every 2 words, and I'm just like, all right, this isn't the Call of Duty I remember playing. So like I'm good. But yeah, so I play games. I mean, when I have energy, I mean, we were going to a range and shooting all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm big into guns.
I mean, we kind of went from like seeing each other several times a week, extracurricularly to like just
never.
like on Instagram because we're both fucking in prep and just
obliterated. I mean, I was supposed to go shooting today, and then my buddy Dylan texted me. He's like, "You good, bro?" And I was like, sent him a picture of me on the couch. I'm just surviving, and he's like, "All right." He's like, I didn't hear from you about shooting today." I was like, "Honestly, bro, I totally forgot." Like, and it's just it's just where you're at, you know what I mean? Like, and Mike and I talked about this during the prep because, like on paper, this prep for him was like really easy as far as getting in shape, but like it was painful because of the fact that he was in shape for so long, you know what I mean? And also having to make weight. And like, I'm kind of in the same boat. This has been one of my easier preps as far as like food and cardio and things like that. But like, doesn't matter how much cardio you're doing, how much food you're eating, or it doesn't matter. Once you hit a certain body fat percentage, like everything hurts and it's all sucks. So that's kind of, but I, what sucks, dude, is there's no sports on right now.
Yeah, I love sports.
I'm not into the NBA. I watch the NHL playoffs a little bit because it's exciting. Baseball is like a snooze fest unless you're like at the ballpark. And so there's no football. So I'm like, I mean, I could get through 2 out of 7 days out of the week from just football all day long, Saturday and Sunday. And then you get a Monday night game, and then you can get a Thursday night game. And like, I've got most of the streaming services, so I could watch literally almost all of it. And man, prepping through football season would be a fucking breeze. But it's like, there's nothing.
Are you a sports betting guy?
No, I don't gamble. I work way too hard for my money to like throw it away. And I'm like the most unlucky guy ever when it comes to gambling. So like I don't do that.
With you.
And like, and I don't even know. See, the thing is, I don't even know what the like how the money line and like I don't know any of that. Like I'm so far removed. I know nothing about it. I'd be literally just throwing money at it just to just for the sake of it, and like I'm good. I do enough white collar gambling with crypto that I don't need to do sports.
Okay.
So I've lost my ass on crypto and foreign exchange before, so it's like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to lose more money. So, and I've lost my ass on a car. I'm not the greatest when it comes to stuff like that. So the best bet for me is to just give it to my money guy or keep it in my bank account, and then at least it just doesn't go down. It just stays there. But no, I love playing my PS5. I mean, and I'm a THC user, so I smoke it every night and wind down. I do that to turn my brain off because I don't know if you guys think so, but for 3 weeks out, I'd say I'm still relatively energetic for the most part. I have my moments, but I got to tone myself down to then usually go to bed at night. Oddly enough, I can close my eyes and fall asleep on Mike's couch like any moment of the day. But when it's at my house to actually go to bed at night, I definitely have to go through kind of a bit of a routine. So man, just nothing is more enticing to me than a nice home cooked meal with a blunt and then my PS5 to end the evening.
That sounds great.
That's huge.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what? I have a fire pit now too.
Nice.
And I was using it in the winter time because it gets just cold enough down here to be able to have a nice little fire. And man, that is the thing I miss the most about living up north.
Yeah.
Just the smell of the fire, a crisp, cool start to your morning, or a crisp, cool night where you got to have a hoodie and a sweatpants on and a blanket over you and you're sitting by the fire and bro.
Yeah.
My dream someday, and when I said real estate's kind of something that intrigues me, I'm constantly looking at stuff, is to eventually I will leave Florida. I don't think I will live here forever. I may always own property here, but I don't think I will live here full time forever. And I would love to have some type of homestead, 5-10 acres, more would be better, and either build a house or just something small because it's just me. You know what I mean? I'm a single guy, I got no kids, and that'll change maybe someday. But for now, a little bit of land, have a garage full of toys, and be somewhere where it's not always so devilishly hot, and just be secluded. I revel in my privacy, and our homes are kind of right on top of each other down here. I mean, most neighborhoods are, and so, but it's man, I see these properties and things like that, and I'm like, this is just inside my price range. I'm so close to pulling this prep purchase trigger on this.
Oh shit!
We talked about that. Shit. Yeah.
So my last prep, I bought a house. So I closed on this house that I live in 2 days before flying to Texas for the Texas prep.
That's great.
So, but dude, it was okay, here's the thing though. With real estate, sometimes you gotta go fast. So I was getting squeezed on rent. This is 2023. I was getting squeezed on rent. They wanted to raise my rent for my 1-bedroom apartment up to $1,950. When I first signed with them 2 years prior, it was $1,500. So in 2 years, they almost wanted to go up $500. And I'm like, I've lived here the whole time.
Yeah.
Why can't I just pay the same? And they were renting out units for less than what they wanted me to pay because I looked online and I asked them about that, and they basically just shrugged their shoulders at me. So I was like, all right, fuck you guys. I'm like, here's my 2 months notice. And so I started looking, and Ruth O'Donnell found this house on Zillow, and it was online for 6 hours. And the next morning at 9 a.m., I was in the house looking at it, doing a walkthrough.
Hell yeah.
And then we put an offer in that day.
Hell yeah.
They accepted the offer 2 days later, and before you know it, I was buying a house.
Well, you win at the ultimate prep purchase so far.
It was just luck. That was just the
Mike's truck
time wise. But I've bought in a car during prep. I bought a car during prep. I bought a house during prep. This year I haven't had anything. I sold a car during prep, so I actually made money this prep, believe it or not.
Nice.
And Mike's trying to get me to buy a GTR, which I'm like,
see, there's still a couple weeks left.
There's that.
There's still time.
There's still time. There's still time. because I posted this on my story. I said, need dopamine. Food's not doing it. Send my purchase ideas.
That's all it fucking is, man. Is you just need a little hit.
It's literally that's all it is. It literally, but for nothing other than some dopamine, and it's so embarrassing how short that dopamine hit lasts, no matter how big the purchase is. You know, because I was a sneakerhead for so long, and like, I mean, I still have probably 25 pair of Jordans, but I had like 100. So like, I've sold a lot of them, and now I'm out of the car. I had a classic car, a 71 Chevelle that I'd probably put 90 grand into the car between the purchase price and upgrades and then shit breaking all the time and whatnot. And like, I sold it to the mechanic, the guy who bought it, who worked on it for me. I sold it for pennies on the dollar just to be done with it and get a little equity out of it. And then he's dumped 15 grand into it already. So it's just like, I mean, it's a never ending project with cars, right? And like, I don't know how to tinker with them. I didn't learn that skill. I don't have that knowledge. Now, like Mike knows how, and he could mess around with cars a lot more than I can, but I don't know how. So anytime something breaks, one, it needs to get towed, and then it's got to go there. And like, we're talking at least $1,000 or $2,000, right? Minimum. So I'm just like, okay, this is starting to become a really expensive toy that I never get to drive. So getting out of that. And then obviously I kind of got into guns a lot more the last year. As far as like buying a bunch of guns, I bought like a custom AR-10, you know, like a $6,000 rifle that I've shot twice. And, you know, because it came right at the time that like prep started to get hard. And I'm like, I don't want to drive an hour to the range. And just like, so I haven't really made any dumb purchases. What I actually might do, I've been thinking about this a lot. I want to do something for my parents. Because like things aren't super great between our family right now, and like we're not really on speaking terms. So I was kind of wanting to do a like expenses paid vacation for my parents to go somewhere nice, and I have a travel agent who they know very well and who's done, you know, stuff for them in the past, and I would just go through her, and then she can just deliver it to them, and you know. We don't have to communicate or anything like that, but it's kind of like an olive branch for maybe like after prep or something like that to try and, you know, open up some lines of communication again. So that's been something that's been kind of on my mind. And, you know, like I'll drop 10 grand on that if I have to just do it right. You know, like first class tickets to Hawaii and then like a week in an all-inclusive resort or something like that. Like whatever, you know what I mean? I don't care. You know what I mean? It's just like something like that would be cool.
Absolutely. No, that's a great idea. I think it's so great when you reach a level of, I don't want to necessarily say success because success is different for everybody, but the ability to like give back to your parents. Cause I mean, we took my parents on vacation last year and that was just like a big thing for me. Cause I never thought I'd be in a position in life where I could take my parents on a vacation.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool thing to be able to finally do, like give back.
And like I'm assuming we all probably grew up pretty similarly, you know what I mean, like pretty grassroots, you know, like working class families. I mean, like we weren't poor for my family, but like we were very working class. And so what I like to do is because they usually come down once a year and we'll spend a chunk of time in my house, like a couple months. We'll do the snowbird thing. And I have an expensive taste of when it comes to restaurants. So like I like to go to these fancier places now. You know what I mean? I've worked hard and I've had that ability now, right? It's great. Like that's my favorite thing to do is to go out to eat. And so I love taking them to places that they would otherwise never go to or couldn't. And it's not that they don't have money. My parents were very frugal, and so they've saved in their retirement, you know, investments have done very, very well, but they're just still really frugal. It's hard to go away from that mentality of like, well, this money needs to last me for the rest of my life, so I can't spend it, you know? And it's like, what do you mean? You don't get to take it with you. So, you know, so, you know, going out to a restaurant, right, and just ordering whatever. And like, usually I kind of had this thing where I order for the table. So I just don't even, I'm like, they don't need menus. And I'm like, I just order for everybody. And it's like maybe a little arrogant thing, but like it's because I'm paying for the dinner and I just want it to be a treat type of deal, like an experience. And I know what everybody likes for the most part. So it's like 3 or 4 courses and we're at the restaurant for 3 to 4 hours and it's just, flights of drinks and different, it's fun. Like, it's just like, that's, and not for everybody, not everybody might enjoy that, but I do. And I know Mike does and our friends do. So it's like, it's a great time. And like, this is my favorite thing. Breaking bread together is quite frankly, one of the most like human thing that you can do with people across human history. That's how you spend quality time with people, for thousands of years, is you broke bread. And that's in what I enjoy doing. So getting to do that with them very often, especially like if I'm in an off season, we're doing this 1 or 2 times a week. And it's just it's so humbling because, like I said before, we talked about the parents thing. I had parents, they were strict and they expected a lot out of my sister and I, and both of us have become professional athletes in our given sports. Megan does very, very well. She has a lot of endorsements. Like she has 6-figure contracts with Puma and some other different companies. Like she's actually a professional athlete. And what we've been able to do for our folks, her and I, and as far as giving back is like, I mean, I don't know. It's what makes the 60-hour weeks worth it.
Yeah.
Because when I say I'm providing for my family, I'm talking about them. Like I've contributed, like, for example, like I've contributed to Mila's college fund and, so is my father. And like, that's like, we're trying to get to the point where like, so Mila will never have to pay for school no matter where she could go to fucking Carnegie Mellon or Harvard or wherever, the most expensive school that you could think of, and not have to pay for it, because we've been trying to set her up, like that's just trying to do a little bit better than what our folks did for us. Because my folks did the best they could to try and help me come out of school with as minimal debt as I could, and I wasn't debt free and, whatnot, but like they certainly fucking helped. I don't know how they were paying for my first college, because I went to a private school at first. And like I said, I wasn't on scholarship, so I don't even know how they were making it work. $45,000 a year in tuition, but they somehow made it happen.
Yeah.
I know I took on loans, some of them, but like it wasn't that much. So it's trying to make it come full circle. And again, some of that strictness has affected the relationship a little bit because it's, a little different. But I'm grateful that most of the time my folks and I and my sister, like we can look at them almost as peers as opposed to as parents.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky in that regards.
Hell yeah. Well, Justin, thank you for coming on. This was super enjoyable. Taking the time in prep, late night, 10 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah, no, I was looking forward to it. And so I didn't realize it was this late at night when I first agreed to it, but I was like, yeah, it's okay. So it just
got shit better to do.
To work out that it was a nice high day. My sushi's on the table.
Oh,
I'll be going to eat a little bit, and then I'll be calling it a night. And then I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day. I know that we didn't really talk about that, but so happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody. And again, thanks for having me. I was hoping Pentano was going to be on here so I could bust his ass about being an annoying son of a bitch on Instagram, but
dude, all of his fucking names, name stories.
I lost on him about those stories.
I'm like, dude, you gotta fucking stop.
I responded to one and I said, please shut the fuck up. I'm like, these are retarded. And
then, you want to be friends with your coach? That's what you get.
And then right, because Chris and I are friends, because me, him, and Ashland have been friends for years, way before I ever coached him. And so, and I blew on him a little bit when I was like, and I said, well, I'm muting you until I'm out of practice.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean, bro? My DMs are full of people saying these are so funny. I'm like, no, this is the gayest, stupidest Instagram trend that I like. It can't wait to be done. Oh my god!
I was like, tap, 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 tap. Fucking done with this.
I'm sorry, but like, if I have to keep tapping through your stories or swiping to get off of them, no. I'm like, you're not going to interrupt.
Justin's like, fucking mute, done.
Your stupid ass stories. So I'm bummed. I was really hoping to lay into him a little bit about that. Well, all in good fun, because he would have been able to at least see that I'm joking.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't joking when I blew up on him on Instagram. I was pissed. It was a low day. I was feeling it. I was angry. It was a South Pole elf that day. I was an angry elf.
Oh, shit.
That's
so funny.
Then I would have apologized to him if he was on. So you guys will have to let him know that he missed out.
We'll run another one back in the future,
okay.
and definitely come.
I'm interested to see what his Tuesday check-in looks like. If he's cussing me out, like
he's gonna be flipping you off in every fucking picture,
or if he just skips his check-in and be like, "Oh, here we go." I always know, man. I'll leave you guys with this. I'll tell you a little bit of a story. I always know before it happens when someone's gonna leave. I always know. It's like a sixth sense, because just like, we've all shared an experience now at this point of you crack the whip on somebody one time, and then they miss one check-in, or it's a day late or something like that. I know, I'm like, you're leaving.
Yeah.
And I usually address it right away. And I'm like, what's the deal? And I'm like, because if this is how you're going to respond to me coaching you hard one time, then this isn't going to work. So like, we need to have this conversation now and be done with it, or we'll just part ways. I'll give you all, I'll give you your money back and everything, like all good. But like, I'm not doing this like cat and mouse game where I walk on eggshells around you because you're mad at me now.
Yeah. If you're hiring a top level coach, you better have fucking thick skin.
Dude, I coach so many girls now, though, too, to the point where it's like I kind of like have softened my approach.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah. I mean, oh fuck, dude. I'm like, I joke around with Mike. I'm like, I feel like I'm a girl coach now. I just coach girls.
Or you just have two good bodybuilders in the restaurant.
I've got like a handful of good dudes and a bunch of girls, and so not really. I mean, in reality, it's still more guys, but like it goes through waves, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'll crush it with my girls this year because I've got some good ones that are going to get pro cards this year. And I've got some good pros that are going to do well and whatnot. So then I'll get an influx from that and it's whatnot. But I like it. I like working with the girls. But a lot of times, you can't be as brutally honest with. You can't just push them.
Yeah.
You can't coach them the same way.
No.
But then others you can. Like, so it's like it's finding that fine line.
Yeah.
But like with guys, I'm like, I shouldn't have to do that, dude. Like, toughen the fuck up. Like, and it's just.
I've been working on being a nicer coach. So I'll write responses, I'll read them, I'll erase what I wrote and rewrite it nicer.
I do a smiley face at the end of my messages just so they know I'm not mad.
Yeah.
And when I do the smiley face, it's a colon and a hat and a parenthesis. Smiley face, not an emoji.
And even that, they're probably like, "Why are you upset? Did you fucking miss the smiley face part? Like, what do you fucking want from me?"
An emoji. No, I do that smiley face a lot, and I do that to soften the message, especially if I know it's like, okay, this is going to be a harder text message thread. And it's like, I'll put like, just doing this because I care, smiley face. And it totally changes the whole dynamic.
Do it to Chris on his next check-in.
Yeah.
Only cuss you out because I care, smiley face. Yeah. No, I mean, he better not be mad at me. This has been the easiest prep of his life. So
yeah, we've talked about it like 3 weeks in a row now.
He's killing it.
Double high days every week. He's like, it just doesn't even make sense. I mean, he's just ripping. But yeah, I don't think there's any chance that he's going to be a heavyweight this year. He's way too light already.
Called it.
We all did.
He's like, I better not be. This is gonna.
I know. Suck. He said that to me. He's like, hell no, I'm not doing it. And I'm just like, What if you get peeled, like truly peeled? Because he was in great shape at Nationals, great shape. He wasn't peeled. There's a big difference, right? Like we all know that. There's a huge difference between being, hey, I'm stage lean, and then there's peeled, right? Hospital bed peeled, and only a handful of my guys get there because that. But I can be realistic with that because like I know what that looks like. That standard is so high. I mean, like that's hard. It hurts. And you also have to kind of almost realize that like, hey, I'm going to take you to this place, even though I know you're going to be flatter than a board to get there. But like, that's the best, that you look better when you look like that versus like not like that. So, because most of the time, obviously you're definitely sacrificing some to get to that point. But I mean, if he gets there, it don't matter. You know what I mean? It's like, I think he can be very competitive, you know what I mean, at North Americans because, you know, I convinced him he's going to let me put him in the Masters. So I'm just like, all right, cool, let's go.
Oh, 100%.
Let's get this win so that when you can compete in the pro leagues with your buddies.
For sure.
It's like, I try to explain that to people too. And like, I don't want to hold anybody up, but who cares? Like, just get to the league, you know? And then you can keep competing, and it's just a whole new demographic of people, and you get to compete with your buddies, and it's different shows. You can try. It's just get the card. You know what I mean? Like, and then do something with it. You know, but it's like, you know, this, like, you know, it doesn't matter how you win it. It matters what you do with it. Yep. So, you know, it's like, go for it, brother. Like, it doesn't matter. You know, there's guys on the Olympia stage who have won Masters Pro cards. You know, so it's just have at it, man. Have fun with it. Also, too, it's like experience that win.
I think you're right, though. Nobody remembers where you turn pro, how you turn pro. It's what you do when you're there.
No,
exactly.
No, if that's the most memorable thing about you becoming pro, then you're probably done anyway.
Yeah, and here's we all know this too. Like, yeah, a lot of people, a pro card's a retirement card.
Yep.
Because it's like they're one step closer. But and for most of us, the pro card wins the last show you'll win. And you know, and I've been saying that for a long time, but I specifically saw somebody post that today, and I loved it. I was like, cool, other people think the same way because it's the truth.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot on here.
Yeah, it's so hard to win pro shows, so hard. So, and you know, because again, you take overall winners at every national show, and like, they usually have pretty decent pro careers because they're really good. A lot of them struggle to get in to crack that upper echelon or to even be in the running for a win, you know, to even make a final call out, you know, which puts you in maybe the top 4. And it's like, dude, that's hard. This is hard. Yeah. And that we lose sight of that I think because I think we need to be maybe a little bit more grateful for what we have because bodybuilding is so big in the US, but man, it is so unbelievably hard to win pro shows because we do win pro cards relatively easily. And there's so many that are given out. And there's lots of like, you know, like I won 12 pro cards last year as a coach. So it's like, I experienced that a lot. Pro wins come way less. So it's just, it's not the same. And it's incredibly difficult and incredibly challenging. And so that's, again, another reason when we talked about like, what's your why? What's your reason for continuing to compete? Just to win a pro show and go to the Olympia, it's like you're chasing after something really, really hard, man. Like, don't set yourself up and set your expectations that are going to then fail you later on.
I always tell people to enjoy their amateur career because it's nice to win, bro.
Oh, yeah. I said the same thing. Don't rush it. Don't rush through your amateur career, man, because into the pro leagues when you're ready to be in the pro leagues. Because if you don't, you rush it.
Yeah. Right, there's nowhere to go. Now you're fucked.
You're going to be spitting chiclets for the next couple of years in the pro leagues, getting your teeth knocked in. And a lot of you do 3 years in a row. Let's say you run 3 seasons in the pros, right? And can't even make a first call out. Barely cracking the top 10 at even some weaker shows. That's hard mentally to keep going.
Yep.
And that kind of falls under that quantitative versus qualitative outlook on the sport when it comes to results.
Yeah, where am I going with this?
Drastically improving. Yeah, it's like, where am I going with this? What am I doing? Well, it's like you're doing this because you enjoy it, right? You're doing it for the love of the game.
Yep.
So my 3 things that I say when it comes to why should anybody bodybuild? Do it because it's fucking hard and that you're supposed to do hard shit in life and challenge yourself. Do it because 99% of people can't, and do it for the love of the game.
Facts.
That's it. Anything beyond that is speculative.
Put it on a fucking shirt.
So
Put it on a shirt.
there you go.
End it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Justin.
Appreciate you again.
Sorry,
y'all,
folks.
guys.
Thank you.
All right. See y'all.
Have a good morning. Take it easy.
Thanks.